What is an old soul? An old soul is often seen as someone with wisdom beyond their years, which I don't claim to be highly educated, but my wisdom stems from life. They tend to appreciate life deeply and value meaningful experiences. Old souls often feel connected to history or memory and the past. They may prefer solitude or honest, in-depth conversation over shallow socializing and drama. Empathy and sensitivity to others are common traits. Old souls often seek meaning and purpose. Rather than trying to conquer the world, they may feel most at home learning, reflecting, and growing in quiet spaces. Those characteristics describe me perfectly. During my season of hibernation and deep grief, I discovered fermentation. Every bubbling jar, sourdough starter, and tang of vinegar rising from a crock feels like a whisper from the unseen world of fermentation. Fermentation is an ancient art that blends science with the sacred. Time, intention, and living cultures work together in a quiet miracle of transformation. For me, it preserves more than food. It helps preserve my spirit. It takes simple ingredients and literally brings them to life. In kitchen spirituality, the yeast becomes the teacher. The jar becomes the altar, and waiting becomes a prayer. It is one of nature's kitchen mysteries, decay transforming into nourishment, sweetening emerging from rot, and life rising from invisible colonies. Fermentation teaches patience. You cannot rush a sourdough starter or force sauerkraut into its perfect sourness. You can only create the right environment and wait. For someone impatient like me, that lesson is not easy. The bubbling jar becomes a symbol for the mind, sealed but alive, working quietly in the dark until clarity rises to the surface. My dear friend Susan once told me that after losing her husband, she felt compelled to save something. She rescued an ascetic pony, and Maya is thriving today. Now, I know sauerkraut is nothing like saving a pony, but the impulse is the same: to preserve, to protect, to help life continue. I could not save my granddaughter, but I can still turn what is perishing into something sustaining. Fermentation also teaches practice. I have not loved most of my sauerkraut variations, but I kept trying. This time, I decided to add more vegetables to the cabbage and salt, and I am finally happy with the result. To ferment is to trust the unseen. It is an act of faith, something I am still trying to recover. Wild yeast and bacteria come from your own environment, your skin, the air you live in, your hands, and they merge to create a living culture unique to your home. It carries the energy of your place. It brings new meaning to the prayer, "Give us this day our daily bread." Sourdough and fermentation teach intention and slow living. The starter responds to care. Neglect it and it dies. Feed it and it thrives. A successful ferment also draws gratitude from within, which is another act of faith. Families once gathered to chop and salt and bless the cabbages for the season ahead. It was a sacred act of preservation through togetherness. As we all know, life is not always unified, but I find comfort in knowing that when I tend to my sourdough and my fermented vegetables with care, something nourishing can still come from decay. I slow down and honor what grief taught me in private, the lessons born from my old homebody soul. Slow down. Look for faith in unlikely places. Being an old soul, especially during the hardest of seasons, can be a beautiful thing.